You're listening to Eat, Play, Sex with Dr. Cat, the place to up-level that sexy life of yours, with expert talk on sex, love, and nutrition.
But this guy was talking about I think it was more around no FAP. So like no masturbation and channeling that energy into creating, I think in this video is about creating their empire and creating their, their work. And there's God, I'm blanking on it, but there's a famous book that's being passed around to men that talks about that, like channeling the energy into creating all this business world. But
Think and Grow Rich.
That's it. Yes, yep. yes. And that makes me, like I'm wincing at that because I'm like, how do we do this without shaming masturbation? Because I personally think this is a really important practice to be able to be connected with yourself, to move your sexual energy, but we don't want to go back into the, I don't know, what was it? The dark age? I'm going to call it the dark age of the sexual shame and like masturbation shame. So how do we find that balance there? Or what do you say to men who have read that book and are like, oh, I want to do this?
Yeah. This is an awesome topic, and it's a deep can of worms. And I think we're talking about a fundamental just shift in our understanding around male sexuality, right? When this book was written, it was like in the early, it was many decades ago, maybe 80 or 90 years ago, something like this, right? So the concept of non-ejaculatory orgasms was probably not in anybody's mind over here.
Yeah.
It was definitely in other parts of the world where people have been doing these more somatic body-based energetic practices for a long time, but not here so much. And so I've read that book. I think it's an awesome book. And I know the chapter that you're talking about, it's the Mystery of Sex Transmutation. And
yes.
Hill says, oh, this is a great thing to do. All the successful men in history have done it. You should do it. Go do this thing. But he doesn't say actually how to do it, and these other traditions, they do talk about how to do it. But let's see, what do I want to say exactly here? I think that when a lot of people go to NoFap, and this relates, they are realizing that they might have some unhealthy habits with masturbation or porn use or sex, right? And it could be a really helpful thing to press pause on that for a period of 30 days or 90 days or something like that. Just take a break so you can just reevaluate your entire relationship to sex and pleasure. And that does come with it all kinds of benefits, especially if you're used to watching porn multiple times a week and having mindless masturbation where you just sit still in a chair and like move your hand up and down fast and have like a 5-second moment of pleasure, Like you're going to experience results and benefits if you stop doing that in your life. But then the trick comes when a lot of people go from NoFap to starting to try to have sex again because they've totally shut this area of their life out and they haven't built any new healthy patterns.
Yeah, there's no integration of it. It's just let me cut it off and suppress it or put it away.
Totally. So in comes semen retention. And for me, semen retention is like modern yogic sexuality. And to me, semen retention is really how to get the most out of that book, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation, because it's recognizing through the practice of semen retention, you're recognizing that if you do ejaculate, you are quote unquote letting some of your life force energy go. You're letting something go, whether that's your ability to procreate a child, or if you have a vasectomy, that's some neurological processes that think that you just procreated a child. You're doing something to initiate some process in your body that says, relax, chill out, go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And through semen retention, like you can have sex, you can have non-ejaculatory orgasm, and you can experience all those benefits of sex without going through that process of an ejaculatory orgasm. And therefore, like if you then do a practice like yoga or qigong or some sort of visualization or some sort of mindful practice to integrate that heightened, you could call it energy or sensation or stimulation into your body, then you can use that as fuel to, yes, put into your business or your creative projects or anything like that. you know. And a really important point here is that if you are going to have sex and not ejaculate, or masturbate and not ejaculate, you have to do something with your body to integrate that experience, because you're probably not used to that, you know, and it can be really uncomfortable. A lot of guys might be thinking, well, what about blue balls? Well,
Yeah.
I'm right. Like, I'm here to tell you, I haven't had blue balls in years. I don't even know when the last time is that I had blue balls, and I have sex regularly without ejaculating, you know. And all these traditions where semen retention came from, like, they talk about the importance of doing somatic practice. So qigong is huge in Taoist sexuality, you know. Yoga asana, actual yoga poses, was originally, I think, developed for teenage boys to help integrate their rampant sexual energy so they could actually meditate and do important focused things in their life, you know. You have to do something with this, otherwise you're going to get all agitated and pent up and you know. That's why you see, if
Yeah.
you go on YouTube, you see some videos of guys being like, I just did no FAP for 90 days and I feel great. And they're all like tense up.
Like super tense. Yeah.
Yeah. And this happens, you know?
Yeah. So using these practices to move the energy through the body so it doesn't get stagnant or localized to just the genitals, that where it can be pent up and pressured.
Totally.
Lovers, thank you again for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and head over to eatplaysex.com to connect with me and grab my sexy guides. Because my goal here is to get you to eat, play, and sex better, so you can improve your sex life, which will improve every aspect of your life. Until next time, keep it sexy.